That brazen beauty would render his doom. Trish ran toward him. "Oh, sweetie, sorry. I just had to get a pic of you in that get-up." She pointed to a corkboard plastered with photos of people standing over slain deer and hogs. Trish tacked his picture next to a fat bald guy holding a silver can in one hand and a string of fish in the other. "Now, when you snag that big old beast you're after, you just bring him back here and we'll put your picture on the trophy wall." "Yes, ma'am." While the notion was utterly absurd, Atticus could not help but smile at the thought of him snagging the beast and getting his photo taken with its head on an iron pike. He served himself and sat across from an elderly couple. Skepticism abandoned him when he tasted the succulent seasoned beef. It was more spectacular than anything he had ever eaten at Eagle Hall. The old man took an upside-down bottle from the center of the table and squirted red goop on his meat. "What substance is that, sir?" "Ain't you ever seen ketchup before?" "May I try some?" "Sure." He ran dry and looked for another bottle, but could not find one. He pushed the remaining food away and headed for the door. Perhaps he could witness a new fiend surface from the cursed waters and touch the earth for the first time. The warrior in him yearned for the virgin kill. At the edge of the thick woods, Atticus searched for an animal trail that would serve him. He soon found one that deer frequently traveled. Trees were scraped and missing bark, obvious signs of a buck, and the soft, dark soil was imprinted with hundreds of tracks. Rotten root! He swept a thick spider web from his face. The further he ventured into the forest, the more dense the woods became. He could no longer see the soil through a blanket of crisp leaves and dried pine needles. The forest canopy blotted out the mid-afternoon light. Atticus feared not the dark, and he welcomed the coolness. The beast was as lethal in the day as well as the night. Hush! I will kill you, then nail your carcass to the tree, you ominous pest. He came to a pond filled with murky water.
Listen to all of God's creatures. Even the bees and the spiders have wisdom to bestow.
With his legs planted wide, he held each hand out, palm out in front of his body, and circled them counterclockwise. In his current stance, he opened his soul to all planes.
Evil will tempt you from the righteous path, but a true paladin will remain firm to his convictions.
I am Atticus. The power of the 7 choirs are with me. Steam rose from its choppy surface, testing his patience further. He spread his arms wide, curved his back, and spread his legs, as if succumbing to a free fall. He opened his mind. Voices whispered from the trees. Grant me your wisdom. Atticus fell to his knees. Water seeped into his boots and saturated the green leather covering his legs. His palms pressed against his chest. He angled his elbows upward, pointing to the west and the east. Provide my heart with direction. The water rippled. Atticus's eyes opened. A shadowy humanoid standing thrice as tall as him stood on the surface of the boiling pond. Its body, a shifting blur of shadow. 8 insectile arms wriggled in front of its thin form. The only part that was not shadow were the 2 bulbous eyes peering from beneath a black hood. Begone! I do not seek knowledge from a devil. Was it laughing? Two cold, slimy tentacles shot forward and wrapped around his throat. Suctions stuck to his flesh, and tiny barbs burrowed into his trachea. In desperation, he hitched hold of the tentacles with both hands. They weren't tentacles, but bones as rigid and ungiving as ironwood branches. There was no breaking free of the demon's clutch. Oxygen deprivation took hold. His might struggled to keep his knees from buckling. The muscles in his face strained to keep his eyes wide, fighting through his blurry sight. The otherworldly creature's face leaned forward like the top of an ancient tree bent by a powerful wind. His knees sank into the mud. His fingers uncurled from the black limbs. From above, the creature's mouth fell agape before gobbling him whole.